Hi there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos channel. We are continuing with learning Scratch, we are continuing with making Scratch tutorials, and in this video today we are going to try to learn how and when to use Scratch block which is named Switch Costume 2. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see that in action. Switch Costume 2 is one of the looks block. It's the violet one or the indigo one. I don't know how they define this color, but under the blue circle there is a looks circle which has all the looks Scratch blocks. So try to find Switch Costume and drag and drop it from left to the right. I'm currently in this girl Anina dance, which we have used in previous videos to ask questions to cat. She's asking questions about some kind of English homework. The cat is answering to her, and if the cat answers correctly to 3 questions, the cat gets microphone. That's all cool, but I want that to look more professional and more interesting, more polished in my final game, so I want to add some kind of animation or at least change of look. Change of look animations are they are controlled by costumes in Scratch. If you have followed our previous lessons, you have seen me using that one of the similar blocks which says next costume for the cat, and I have used that when moving the cat. So when I press the right arrow or left arrow or up arrow or down arrow, cat is changing her costumes. If I click on left, top left, where there is some costumes tab, and I'm currently in cat sprite, and then the costumes for cat will be opened. There are only 2 of them, so my animation for the cat will be only moving from this position to this and so on. So it will work in loop, like every time I press my left or right or top or down arrow, the cat will change her costume and it will look like she is moving, like she is animated. That kind of approach works for every sprite, but if we click on Anina dance and then on her costumes, we can see that she has 13 of them. So Anina, she has 13 costumes, so you can see when I click on costumes in her left tab costumes, Anina is changing here on right on the stage. So for example, you can make her pick up something or give, I like this one for example, I probably use that one, but she's like dancing or I don't know what she is doing. Anyway, you can use for example some kind of some other sprite, some other costume than this. For my game I have used this one, but if I for example click on costume 3 and leave it that way, and if I start the game like here now, the cat doesn't care. The Scratch doesn't care. Scratch is using the costume which I have clicked last here on my sprite. So this will be how Anina is looking right now in on the stage, on the scene. So everything else stays the same. I don't want her to look like this when my game starts. I want her to look like this. She looks fine now, but what I want to do here in this video tutorial, I want her to look like this when she is giving microphone to the cat. Okay, but as we said, if I leave it like this from the start, she will stay like this forever. She will ask the question like this. I don't want that. I want my character Anina, to start like this, and then only when the cat answers correctly to 3 questions to turn to costume 9. Okay. Costume 9 is called Anina Pop Left. We should remember that. Okay, I want to use this Anina Pop Left, but only when she gives the microphone to the cat. Okay, so let's find that. When she is giving the microphone to the cat, is she giving it here after the first question? No. Is she giving it here after the second question? No. Is she giving it giving the microphone to the cat here after the third question? Yes. So let me zoom this one and now find where to attach this new block. This new block, as we said, is switch costume 2, and it is used, as we have just explained, to pick some costumes from available costumes for your sprite. In this case here I have 13 available sprites. If I click on the cat, I can pick only 2 of them. If I click on the butterfly, 2. Dancing kid has 7. So if I, for example, want to change costume for dancing kid, which is called champ, I would have only 7 possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possible solutions, but for the girl I have 13. So this menu here, drop down menu, will be interactive, and it will change depending on how many costumes your character has, your sprite has here. In our case it's 13. Okay, we need to find what? Anina Pop Left. Okay, this is the costume which I want to use, but when I want to use it? I want to use it here with my question number 3, only if the cat answers correctly. So let's find it. Okay, if the answer is 3, letter 3 of banana. Okay, that's cool. Thank you very much. You have earned this reward. Okay, so this is where I want to edit. So let me just see it again where exactly. I want this to happen when? After broadcasting or before? I think I will add it here after she broadcasts the message. Then she will change the sprite, the costume, sorry, and then the microphone will show up. Okay, I think this will work fine. Let me just test it. Okay, so what we have just done here, we have added this switch costume here. When the cat answers 3 questions correctly, then the girl will change her costume to Anina Pop Left. Okay, let's see if that works. I think if we have done everything right, she will look like she's dropping the microphone to the cat, which is what I wanted to make. Okay, can you help me with my English homework? Yes or no? No? Nothing happens. Okay, no more questions for you. Okay, I was just... Oh, attack the cat. Yeah, that was the bet from the last video. Okay, let me ask you again. Would you like to help me? Yes. Great, thank you very much. How many letters? 6. These kind of questions are kind of stupid right now because we have used them before, so they are going to repeat themselves on and on, so you know the answers. If you know the answers the first time, you will know it every other time. So that's not very smart, and that's what we'll try to change maybe later. If not, I will make some kind of a tutorial for that, only because you want your questions maybe to change also, not to be the same every time you play the game. That makes no sense. Okay, and And now when I click, I'm currently at my second question, third question. So after I correct now, if the answer is correct, she should change her costume. First she should broadcast the message, change her costumes to pop left, and drop the mic. Let's see it. Cool. This looks great. This looks just what I wanted to have in my game. Okay, this is great, but the problem now is that she will stay like this forever. I don't want that to stay frozen like this, so we have to, even if I start the game again, she will stay like this. So we have to resolve that. Okay, how to solve that problem? The problem is now she stays at this costume and in a pop left. Why is that so? Well, because we never told her go back to costume 1. Costume 1 is called how? Anina stance. Okay, so you just have to drag and drop another switch costume 2 and pick first one, Anina stance, so she will get back to that stance after this one. We want that to happen if I leave it like this, or here, or here, it doesn't matter, it will happen both way. But the problem is if I leave it like this, you can see, I have explained it earlier, Scratch is reading those blocks very fast, so she will switch from first pose to Anina pop left, then in a split of seconds she will switch to costume Anina stance, so we actually won't be able to see this change Anina pop left, because that would be so fast. So we have to add some kind of pause here, wait for 2 seconds, and then go back to Anina stance. And also, what else do we need to add here? Maybe I need to add here, if you have seen me play this game, then stop it, because we have never changed her back to Anina stance. She will stay like this for some time, and we don't want that. We want our game to start how? We want our game to start, our Anina dance sprite to start how? I want this girl to start, when the game starts, I want her to start with the costume Anina stance. Yeah. Okay. So what have we done here? Nothing special. I just said, okay, when the game starts, girl should start with the first costume. First costume is Anina stance. Okay, that's just it. Let's see now if it works. Okay, she starts with the first one. And now, if I answer the 3 questions correctly, she will drop the microphone. She will change her costumes to Anina pop left, drop the microphone, and then she will go back to first costume. Cool. This is exactly what I wanted to have in my game. This looks really good, for at least from my point of view. I don't know if you are satisfied or not. You can experiment with this new block which we have learned just now, which is called switch costume 2, and again try to connect it to some other blocks, to some other conditions, if else, change costumes to this, and so on. Just don't forget that how it will depend on how many costumes your sprite has. That many costumes you can pick here. And also don't forget, when you start your game, you probably want to start your game with the first costume, and then maybe later change it to something else when you meet up some condition. Simple as that. For some more complex game, you will probably use this a lot, because the more costumes and the more sprites you have on your stage and in your game will be more interesting, better to play, interesting, and in terms of graphics, or even gameplay animations and so on. That's it for this lesson. Keep on learning, keep on sharing your knowledge, and I hope I will see you in next videos too. Bye for now.